First Down Friday Night Tailgate Corner is sponsored by Publix.
And what's up, sports fans? Hope you enjoyed Game 5 of the ALDS between the Tigers and the Mariners. We'll get you to First Down Friday Night and all the high school highlights along with those college previews in just a second. But first, we got to hook you up with the Tailgate Corner. Thanks to our good folks over at Publix. We got Nick Kuzma in the mix. And Nick, we got some great food in front of us, man. You know, what do we got today?
Man, this food looks good. These hoagies over here, I've already told you I'm going to be hopping on one of these pub subs afterwards. Those pinwheels are pretty good. And then in the corner over there, we got, looks like buffalo chicken dip. We got some hummus. We got some cannolis. Man, like we got a spread today.
No, we really, really do have a spread. Look, just out of just curiosity, which one are you going to hop on first?
Yeah, I'm going to hop on one of these white seeded bad boys, and then I'm going to take one or two of those, and then a decent portion of the buffalo chicken dip, and then the chocolate covered cannolis. I mean, that looks like quite an opportunity.
Correct. Speaking of the opportunity, let me go ahead and just, bring over.
Yeah, show the people what I've been talking about. People are probably
chicken.
like, what does it look like? That's what it looks like.
Indeed. And, of course, you mentioned the cannolis, and here they come as well into your television.
Into your living room.
Into your living room. On your television, in your living room, or on your mobile device, or on your iPad, whatever the situation.
Streaming is the future, man.
It really, really is, man. Digital is current and the future. And, of course, you got to have your chips, you got to have your Coca-Cola, and anything else. You can go ahead and just make your entire order by going online and ordering it at our good friends at Publix.
This goes great with football. It would go great with baseball tonight if people had, ordered ahead of time to watch the ALDS tonight. But, obviously Alabama, big game this week at Missouri. Auburn, big game versus Georgia. I think this food would be pretty good with any of those games.
Correct. And don't forget, A&M's got
homecoming. It's homecoming.
So there'll be a lot of this out there.
That's true. So if you want to order ahead and then take this to the hill, you can do that as well.
Indeed. All right, that'll wrap things up for the Tailgate Corner. Getting ready. A brand new episode of First Down Friday Night is coming your way right now.
Fridays are for football. This is First Down Friday Night, sponsored by Regenesis, Bank Independent, and Publix. Now your hosts, Mo Carter and Nick Kuzma.
And what's up, sports fans? We've got that food out of the way, and now it's time to talk some real deal stuff. And that's college football and high school football right here on First Down Friday Night.
Yeah, it's a big week. Alabama taking on Missouri, Auburn in the Deep South oldest rivalry, A&M homecoming. Mo, what are you most looking forward to?
Man, I'm just looking forward to that food that I'm going to be able to get on the hill on tomorrow.
So you're thinking about food before the show. You're thinking about food for tomorrow. You're thinking about all of the food.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
All right, let's feed the people, all right? Here is our table of content. It says Alabama and Missouri, like we just said, going toe-to-toe in a top 25 battle up in Columbia, Mizzou. Deep South's oldest rivalry taking place once again, the 130th meeting between Auburn and Georgia. Meanwhile, Alabama A&M and UNA returning home and hoping to right the ship.
Tonight in the Spirit Spotlight, our very own Kanisha Dees will check in with the cheerleaders with Decatur High School. Of course, Jordan Dressman, he's been loving this cooler weather, so he'll hook us up with the weekend and kickoff forecast, and then we'll hop into week 7 of the high school football season and bring you your scores and highlights right here on First Down Friday Night.
Well, Mo, fresh off of a bye, Auburn now prepares for a top 10 opponent. The Tigers' first off week of the season probably couldn't have come at a better time. That's because Auburn lost back-to-back games heading into it, so the team had time to self-scout and get off its feet. The bye also allowed Auburn to get an additional week to prepare for number 10 Georgia, who throttled Kentucky last week, by the way, while also setting the table for the second half of the year. After this week's Deep South oldest rivalry meeting, Auburn has a tough game versus Mizzou, but then 4 straight winnable games. That's against Kentucky, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, maybe winnable, and Mercer, meaning a second half run still in the possible.
To be in what I kind of referred to as season 2 after the first bye week. Obviously wish we'd have gone into it in a little different circumstances, but I love the fact that there's so much still in front of us, and we can't wait to be back in Jordan-Hare. 17th straight sellout, which I think is a new record, and get to play a night game and a rivalry like this that dates back for years.
All right, Georgia has won the last 8 in this series, and of course, they are 9-1 against the Tigers under head coach Kirby Smart. Our quarterback Jackson Arnold, he's proven to be one of the premier dual-threat quarterbacks in the entire conference. And Kirby Smart talked about the fits he can give opposing defenses.
Athleticism. He's had 2 or 3 plays that were broken plays or, plays that maybe scramble plays, RPOs that were designed to be thrown that maybe the look changed, and he takes off running and he runs for 60 yards. He runs for 70 yards. He doesn't just run for like 8-9 yards and go down. I mean, he runs like a running back. He runs over you, through you, around you, speed. They run gap schemes with him. They run perimeter runs with him.
This weekend's game will be the 130th meeting in the Deep South's oldest rivalry, which is tied for the 7th longest rivalry in college football history. To find Auburn's last win, like we just said, you got to go all the way back to November 2017. The first matchup back in 1892. I know we all remember that one. And with the exception of stoppages during both world wars, this game has been played every season for over 120 years.
Also on Saturday will be the jersey retirement of one Cam Newton. In 2009, Cam accounted for over 4,300 yards and scored 50 total touchdowns while leading Auburn to the 2010 SEC title and the BCS National Championship. He also won the Heisman Trophy, and he was the #1 overall pick of the Carolina Panthers in the 2011 NFL Draft.
Came oh so close to winning a Super Bowl. Switching gears to Alabama, the Crimson Tide silenced those cocky Commodores and are off to a 2-0 start in SEC play. Bama seems to be fully back on track, now winners of 4 straight since that loss in Tallahassee, 2 of which were top 20 victories to add to the resume. This week, the Tide has another ranked team on the docket. Missouri checks in at number 14 and is 5-0 to start the year, well on its way to a 3rd straight season as one of the more competitive teams in the SEC.
Missouri poses a lot of problems for you, just what they do physically, running the football. I mean, they're dominant against the run. They're dominant. Time possession, put a lot of points on the board and hold teams down, with the limited possessions you're probably going to get. So Coach Drinkwitz has done a great job building that program up, been super consistent here with the wins, but also just consistent each and every week with what you're going to get. And, we're going to be looking forward to a great challenge on Saturday.
The Mizzou ground game has been devastating, led by the country's leading rusher, Ahmad Hardy. He has 730 yards in just 5 games, and Jamal Roberts has been really good as well. Alabama has been shredded on the ground by Florida State, Georgia, and Vandy this season. The Tide, they're ranked 70th in the country in defending the run.
It's huge. Anytime there's a run game, it just helps. It just makes my job easier. Anytime that the offensive line can get movement up front and the running backs can, get yards, keep us on schedule, it puts us in a great position, especially, making 3rd downs easier.
This will be Bama's 4th trip up to Columbia, 3rd since Mizzou joined the Southeastern Conference. The Tide have won 6 straight games in the series, including the 2014 SEC Championship kickoff from Memorial Stadium, scheduled for 11 a.m. Welcome back. The past 2 weeks for the Alabama A&M Bulldogs, Mo, they've been rough. First, Sam Shade's team lost a heartbreaker on the road at Bethune-Cookman, and then
the Bulldogs, they went down to Mobile and they were roasted by Jackson State. Well, after those trips, they're happy to be back at home this weekend. The Bulldogs welcoming in Mississippi Valley State to the Hill for homecoming 2025. The Delta Devils, they're 0-4 on the season, but Terrell Buckley's team could be easily 2-2. Coach Sam Shade recognizes that this is not your same version of Mississippi Valley from years past, and he won't let his team overlook the squad from Itta-Bena.
They're a dangerous football team. We can't, we won't. We definitely won't take this team lightly because, we've seen the film. We know what they're capable of, and they present some challenges that we've had problems with. They've got a running quarterback, kid that can really run the football, do some things with his legs. So, we feel like they're going to try to come in and establish the run against us, and so we got to be prepared for that.
Saturday's game kicks off at 2 p.m. between the Delta Devils and the Bulldogs. If you're not coming to Huntsville and checking out all the action, you can make sure you check it out on SWAC TV. You might hear a familiar voice. Keep this in mind, Mississippi Valley State has not played a game since September the 27th.
Also watch On the Hill Live, the homecoming.
Absolutely, at 8:30 right here on
8:30.
FOX54 with Dr. Paul Bryant.
All right, well, tomorrow in Florence, the North Alabama Lions return to Brawley for the first time in a few weeks as Brent Dearman's team welcomes Central Arkansas in for another UAC battle. The Lions are trying to shake back after being overmatched, outplayed, dominated, destroyed, what have you, by Abilene Christian in a 29-point defeat, the worst for a Brent Dearman team against an FCS team in this current era. Well, after showing that last week, Brent Dearman and his staff had to do a complete reset of the practice flow to prep for UCA.
Getting back to the basics a little bit at practice, getting back to a little swagger, getting back to who we are, understand what our strengths are, understand what our weaknesses are, and having a focus on once we're going to win us ball games, having that elite focus, that elite passion that you've got to play with at this level. You can't come out and play a B- game, a C+ game. You got to come out and bring it every single week. Knowing that we're going 7 straight conference games, you can't have an off week. But right now we're just focused on 1-0 and a tough UCA Bears team coming here this weekend.
Saturday's game in Florence kicks off at 3 p.m. You can watch it live on ESPN+. We're going to have highlights this weekend on Fox 54 Sports Extra.